shadow knows.
Once again, your neighborhood blue coal dealer brings you the thrilling adventures of the Shadow, the hard and relentless fight of one man against the forces of evil. These dramatizations are designed to demonstrate forcibly to old and young alike that crime does not pay. The Shadow, mysterious character who aids the forces of law and order, is in reality Lamont Cranston, wealthy young man about town. Several years ago in the Orient, Cranston learned a strange and mysterious secret, the hypnotic power to cloud men's minds so they cannot see him. Cranston's friend and companion, the lovely Margot Lane, is the only person who knows to whom the voice of the invisible Shadow belongs. Today's drama, Bubbling Death.
What's so funny?
I said balmy. I'm Jim, and this is Radio Chaos, and
What's the matter?
Somebody's in the garden.
Oh, who'll be down there this time of night?
Not so sorry. The mist is coming up. Like your brother.
Bob, you sure?
Oh, no.
Bob, all right. Bob. Bob. Helen, he's walking toward the
Oh,
cauldron.
no, not him. Not him, too. He mustn't.
Bob, come back. Come back! Come back!
Right now, the Slickers ring up the curtain with Near You.
Good evening. Welcome to the Mario Lanza Show, with the music of Ray Sinatra and his orchestra, transcribed, and our special guest, the delightful international artist, Miss Giselle Mackenzie.
anywhere. It's always time for ice-cold Coca-Cola. And right now, Coke Time, transcribed, presented by your friendly neighbor who bottles Coca-Cola, starring Eddie Fisher.
Bring home the Coke. Bring home the Coke. Everybody's happy when you bring home the Coke. That real great taste leaves you so refreshed. Coca-Cola puts you at your sparkling best. Bring home the Coke.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to Coke Time.
The Coca-Cola Company proudly presents...
Florette, where are you? Florette!
And that, Mr. Cranston, is the last we ever saw of my brother-in-law. By the time my husband got out to the cauldron, Bob had disappeared into that hideous sea of mud. Oh, how awful. You were a friend of Bob's, Mr. Cranston. There's no one else I can turn to. Tragedy affected my husband's mind. You've got to help me, Mr. Cranston. I've got to know what terrible secret is wiping out the Legrands.
I'll do my best, Mrs. LeGrand.
There's no one else I can
There were
turn
three
to.
brothers, weren't there?
Yes. The oldest brother, Jonathan, went the same way a few months ago. Walked into the cauldron in the middle of the night.
Were you and your husband there, John?
No. My husband's an engineer. We were in South America with our little boy, Thomas. When we got Bob's cable, we heard back home. Where is your home, Mrs. Graham? In the bayou country of Louisiana. Where is your home? When we got there, we found Bob gloomy and depressed. Couldn't get a word out of him for weeks. First Jonathan and Bob sent to moved in. George is the same way.
This cauldron you spoke about, exactly what is it?
It's an old lye pit in the woods back of the estate.
This cauldron you spoke
Fine,
about,
no
exactly
way
what is
soil
it?
around it. Full of mud and climb down. Gas underneath it. Whole thing boils and bubbles awful. Tommy threw a ball out on it once and his little dog tried to fetch it. The mud swallowed it. Horrible. Cauldron's got Jonathan and Bob now. It'll be my husband's turn next and then Tommy. Whole thing boils and bubbles. You've got to come down to the estate and find out what's making the Legrands walk to their death.
Most famous family in America.
Well, Professor, we'll give you a chance to hear some of my music. Right now, the City Slickers and I are going to do an opera.
An opera? Oh, well, how's about the letting me sing in the opera?
Well, all right.
What do you call it, this opera?
It's a new one. It's a mystery story about a murder and how the G-men solved it.
Uh-huh. And what's the name?
This is your F.B. Aida.
Oh, boy, you just waited for me. I'm going back to spray my throat.
Ladies and gentlemen, we present for the first time a new opera. This is your F.B. Aida with Professor Don Amici Gazzola.
Bubbles are full of poison gas. Every time a tenor hits a high C, the note pops a bubble.
I can't believe it. Who would want to break up such a happy family?
I thought to myself, the murderer had to be someone who doesn't like tenors. And that would narrow it down to about 150 million people. This case could keep me here all night. Then it came to me. Lawrence, I know who the murderer is. There's your murderer.
Oh, you. You appreciating this, dear.
What are you doing walking around the halls of the cellar, Margaret?
Well, I kept seeing things behind those heavy black drapes in my room. So I'll just spend the night curled up on this hall sofa, fully dressed and wide awake.
I don't blame you, Margaret. This place isn't exactly conducive to sleep. I've just been reading a book I found downstairs in the library. A history of the Legrand family.
Oh, you must have been interesting reading. If what he told us about Florette Legrand is true.
He didn't exaggerate a bit. House is a heritage of death. Violent death.
Remember what? Hard to forget a face like this. It's more like a skull with eyes. Come on. Has it ever occurred to you that Jonathan and Robert Legrand might have committed suicide?
Yes, suicide would fit in with the brother's gloomy temperament. Only one thing wrong with that theory.
What?
Well, drowning in mud isn't one of the accepted methods of suicide.
Oh, my. Hard to forget a face.
George Legrand. Going away. I'm going to find out what that thing is.
Something with you. Oh, my.
Careful down these steps, Margaret. Yeah. I don't trip over anything. Take it quick. Don't move, Margaret. There's something in this room. Steady, Margaret. Where you like a match? Careful, let's see.
Oh, my. It smells like cobwebs.
Like a room?
Oh, my. Oh, it was awful. Things on my face. It smelled like cobwebs. Hard to forget a face.
We heard a noise and came down to investigate.
Oh, you heard it too, eh? This swishing sound like the rustling of a woman's skirt and the tinkle of a charm bracelet?
Yes, those were the songs, Mom.
Oh, you heard it too,
You
eh?
say you've heard those sounds before?
Yes, it's her. It's Florette Legrand.
It's a curse, yes? We heard a noise and came down to investigate. What makes you so certain?
He walks these halls at night seeking revenge.
Revenge? For what?
Oh, you heard it too, eh? It was her own brother, the Duke Henri Legrand, who convicted her.
Oh, my.
She won't stay dead till she's taken the last of the Legrands with her.
Oh,
It's a curse, yes? It's a curse. It's a curse, yes?
We heard a noise and came down to investigate. What makes you so certain?
Revenge? For what? Oh, my. Do you believe in ghosts, Lamont?
I don't know, Mom.
But, Mom. Oh, my. You tell me.
What kind of material would make a swishing sound like the one we heard?
Oh, my. What? Do you believe in ghosts, Lamont?
Take a good look at that painting, Margot. That one of Florette Legrand.
Do you believe in ghosts, Lamont?
An excellent job.
Oh, my.
Could even see the grain of the cloth in her gown.
I liked it very much. It was a feather pillow, and I guess she must have had an allergy. Because when I took the pillow away, she said, "Thank goodness I can breathe again." Yes, and I'll never forget how beautiful she used to play the piano with her 10 slender fingers on each hand. She never did tell me what happened to her thumb. Oh well, you can't have everything.
vampire's life come moments now and then when goodness seems to threaten you. Don't yield, don't bend, you'll triumph in the end. A wicked thought will pull you through. When things are going wrong and virtue might succeed, remember to yourself be true. Fight hard, spread hate, and if you concentrate, a wicked thought will pull you through. Keep your eyes upon the ground, fill your heart with gloom. It takes a heap of haunting to make a grave a tomb. So banish all those fears. Tomorrow things will change.
Well, Margot, I guess that solves the mystery of the Legrand ghost.
So it was Keith's daughter.
Yes. Costume and veil she wore belonged to the first floor at Legrand. They were family heirlooms. Keith and Melinda were in the scheme together. Now Melinda's in jail where she belongs.
Lamont, you never did tell me what happened out of the cauldron.
Well, that was a narrow escape. Keith almost succeeded in pushing the shadow into the cauldron. His daughter tried to help him, but naturally she couldn't see the shadow. She and Keith tangled. He fell back into the cauldron, pulled her in.
Oh, how horrible.
No more horrible than the crimes they committed.
Oh, by the way, Lamont.
Nah, I don't like that.
Well, try just putting even if it takes a hair more time, putting a little bit more of a wry thing on correct.
Try 13.
This announcement from the producers of this record contains important information for radio program directors and is not for broadcast. The first cut on this record has been cross-format focused for airplay success. As you well know, a record must break on radio in order to actually provide a living for the artists involved. Up until now, you've had to make these record-breaking decisions on your own, relying only on perplexing intangibilities like taste and intuition. But now, there's a better way. The cut that follows is the product of newly developed compositional techniques based on state-of-the-art marketing analysis technology. This cut has been analytically designed to break on radio, and it will, sooner or later. For the station that breaks it first, the benefits are obvious. You lead the pack. Yes, no matter what share of this crazy market you do business in, no other release is going to satisfy your corporation's current idea of good radio like this one. On this cut, we're working together on the same wavelength in scientific harmony. But remember, this cut is constructed for multi-market breaking now. Don't waste valuable research with needless delay. We've done the hard work of ensuring your success. The final step is up to you. Special designer song follows in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh, there's so much noise. I can't hear the music.
Is there any escape from noise?
What orchestra is this?
Is there any escape?
Is there any escape?
What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna record all the noise.
Oh, yeah? Well, you know, actually, right here in this neighborhood, we don't have a heck of a lot of noise.
No, we don't either.
Because, well, you know, there's the big city isn't around here, and once we do hear somebody shoot off a couple of guns in the distance, and somebody rattles some tin cans or something, and that's about all. So it's very quiet here. You don't hear much.
Oh, look out! Here I come! Michael Jackson, look what you've done!
Michael Jackson,
You spattered mud all over my dress with your old bicycle.
Paul McCartney and Michael Jackson,
Never wash out.
Bruce Springsteen,
Oh, Gene, what am I going to do?
Van Halen,
Oh, I'm sorry, Carol. You were too close.
Tina Turner,
Sorry. What good does that do?
David Bowie,
You know you aren't supposed to be riding your bike during lunch hour.
Prince, Madonna, Huey Lewis and the News, The Cars, Herbie Hancock, Bonnie Tyler, ZZ Top, Weird Al Yankovic, Cyndi Lauper, Pink Floyd, The Pretenders, Billy Joel, Billy Idol, Elton John, Neil Young, Sheena Easton, John Lennon, The Alan Parsons Project, Rick Springfield, The Rolling Stones, Pat Benatar, Hall & Oates, Adam Ant, Queen, Jack Cougar Mellencamp, Fleetwood Mac, Duran Duran, Police, Eurythmics, Culture Club, including Boy George, Kenny Rogers, Stevie Wonder, Jay Iglesias and Diana Ross, Donna Summer, Dean Martin, Kiss, and we especially call for the judgment in this hour and the destroying of rock music directed specifically against children, and working specifically through these individuals, for whom we call forth the judgment of the sacred fire in this hour before the throne of Almighty God.
Oh, look out! Here I come!
You've got a good beginning. Hit and miss and trial and error. It just depends again on breaking the records over radio.
Rock music blares. Doors slam. People yell. Children scream. Sirens whine. Trucks rumble and roar. And rock music blares. Blares, blares, blares. Is there any escape from noise? Is there any escape?
Supposing you're watching the Playboy channel, and it's just about time for them to have an orgasm, when all of a sudden, wham! The horrible noise comes in and completely destroys your orgasm on the Playboy channel. There it goes again. That awful interference, wrecking your orgasm on the Playboy channel. You've called the cable TV company 6 times. Each time the technician comes out, he can't fix the problem. He is fired. Wham! That sound is more important than you are. That sound is more important than your entire life. And it will stop you from having an orgasm on the Playboy channel.
Thinks you're not paying attention. There's enough built-in stress in marriage. Without noise contributing. There's enough built-in stress in marriage.
We spent a lovely summer, my wife Elaine and me. We bought us a great big motor home with a shower and TV. We was camping and having a great time, watching Brokaw on Today. Till a bee flew into the Nesbitt's lime soda and we had to throw it away. Now most of the time I'm a peaceful man, but I lost my temper that day. Just one last bottle of Nesbitt's lime soda and we had to throw it away. I brought a case of knee-high and double cola too, a half a dozen upper tins and good old Mountain last bottle of Nesbitt's lime soda, and we had to throw it away. We spent a lovely summer, my wife Elaine and me. We bought us a great big motor home with a shower and TV. We was camping and having a great time, watching Brokaw on Today, till the bee flew into the Nesbitt's lime soda, and we had to throw it away.
Somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, there's a land that I heard once in a lullaby. Somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, there's a land heard a lullaby. Someday I'll wake up on a star, wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where travel smell like women drop away above the hay, away above my chimney tops, where I'll find me. Somewhere over the there's a land in a once in a lullaby. If happy little bluebirds fly me on the way, but why, oh, why can't I?
Sycamore is open. That's how Sycamore opened. That's how Sycamore is. I say this somewhat quietly and without fanfare because...
How are you voting on the gun initiative?
Well, because people who like their living green and private don't usually appreciate a lot of fluttering flags and cartwheeling clowns.
There are 17 million adults in California and an estimated 4 million handguns.
Well, that's not fair.
When no more can be sold, you can see that the majority of adults will be virtually prohibited from ever owning one.
When this vacation land is sold out.
That's right. Did you know it gives some people a special property right?
You mean my neighbor can have something legally that I can't?
So if you've always admired parts of Piedmont or Orinda...
Well, you could buy one if you can convince someone to sell you his and if you're willing to pay his price.
And regret you didn't buy there 10 or 15 years ago. Sycamore should have considerable appeal.
That's right.
It is a custom community of personalized for the private pleasure of a limited number of families.
It allows people who already own handguns to keep them.
After all, you aren't going to find a finished big blue mountain lake in California that isn't full of boats and people and surrounded by cars. This opening is just the beginning of something people will want to Sunday drive through for the next couple of 100 years.
no other possibility.
And remember, sound was used for centuries as a method of torture. Place someone's head inside of a bell and ring it. And eventually, they'll go insane. And eventually, they'll go insane. They'll go insane. They'll go insane. And eventually,
yellow and black and yellow and black and rectangular.
Rectangular, yes. And what else?
Well, yellow and black and rectangular.
Rectangular, yes. What else?
Well, doctor, it has kind of black and yellow and black and
rectangular, yes.
it has kind of shapes inside.
Yellow, black, and shapes inside.
Oh, I see them everywhere.
What else?
It has kind of wedge shapes inside.
Yellow, black,
and yellow
and with
rectangular.
wedge shapes inside.
Oh, I see them everywhere. Do you hear me?
There. Just lie back.
Black
and yellow with...
Everywhere. Do you hear me?
There, Mrs. Black.
Well, wedge shapes.
Mrs. Wedge.
Everywhere.
There. Back on the couch.
What does it mean?
Rectangular, black, and with wedge shapes inside.
Oh, I see them everywhere. Everywhere.
Just lie back on the couch.
What does it mean?
Yellow and with black shapes...
wedge shapes inside.
Inside.
Everywhere. Do you hear me?
There. Back on the couch.
What does it mean?
Mrs. Yellow, back on the couch.
What does it mean? Am I losing my mind?
Just lie back on the couch.
What does it mean?
Just lie back.
Am I losing my mind?
There.
Everywhere.
Just lie back.
Do you hear me?
There, Mrs.
Everywhere. Do you hear me?
There.
Do you hear me?
Mrs.
Rectangular.
Mrs. Rectangular, yes.
Am I losing my mind?
What you have been seeing everywhere you look are those yellow and black signs used to indicate a fallout shelter in buildings.
So you see these signs too, Dr. Black?
Why, sure, Mrs. Rectangular.
Oh, well, I feel better already.
Over here by Frisco, fucking hot town for press. Town for press. Town for press. Town for press.
That's what I heard.
Fuck Frisco, man. LA ain't like this shit.
I'll tell you one thing, Frisco ain't like what they said it was. Shit. That's what I heard.
Frisco, man.
That's what I heard.
Shit. I just turned on a fucking rock star with goddamn guitars. I can see me on MTV. Fucking big massive bucks. Fucking San Francisco's full of fucking fags, dudes.
spoke up and said, the loudspeaker spoke up and said, the loudspeaker spoke up and said, the loudspeaker spoke up and said, Christianity is stupid. 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 Communism is good. Communism is good. Communism is good. Communism is good. Did you hear that? Give up. Give up. Give up. Give up. Give up. Christianity is stupid. Christianity is stupid. Christianity is stupid. Christianity is stupid. Give up. Give up. Give up. Communism is good. Christianity is stupid. Communism is good. Christianity is stupid. Communism is good. Communism is good. Christianity is stupid. Communism is good. Christianity is stupid. Give up. Give up. Give up. From 5 o'clock in the morning till 10 o'clock at night. From 5 o'clock in the morning till 10 o'clock at night. From 5 o'clock in the morning till 10 o'clock at night. Communism is good. Christianity is stupid. Christianity is stupid. Communism is good. Christianity is stupid. Christianity is stupid. Communism is good. Give up. Give up. Give up. Give up. Give it. Give it. Communism is good. Give up. Christianity is stupid. Give up. Give up. Christianity is stupid. Give up. Give up. Communism is good. Give up. Give up. Give up. Give up. Give up. 17 hours a day. Give up. Give up. Give up. Give up.
Shop as usual. And avoid panic buying.
The autonomous Komi Republic, which is part of the Russian Federation, is situated in the far northwest of Europe and spreads up to the Arctic part of the Ural Mountains. It's crossed by 9 northern parallels. 10 fair-sized European states could be placed on its territory. Besides indigenous residents, that is, the Komi people, there are also Russians, Ukrainians, Nenetses, Chuvashis, and Tartars. And now let's go back into history a little bit. A boy lying on skins behind our backs was turning the knobs of a small transistor radio.
Making efforts to use radios as vehicles of the psychological warfare.
And the tent was suddenly filled with an announcer's voice speaking Komi. Then with music from Moscow, followed by English and French speech.
The recording was made at the Moscow Theater of Musical Miniatures.
Now, back to modern times.
Your attention, please. At the recommendation of the International Time Bureau, commencing at 23 hours, 59 minutes, 60 seconds UTC, an extra second will be inserted into the NBS time scale. This adjustment is required
To maintain internationally coordinated universal time is broadcast from these stations in close agreement with UT1 or astronomical time.
WA6ODB with a question.
And,
Do you know how many time zones there are in the Soviet Union?
and about power, we got so much power now.
Do you know how many time zones there are in the Soviet Union?
We got so much power now. That's ridiculous.
Do you know how many time zones there are in the Soviet Union?
Power and all that. That's power. We got so much power. That's ridiculous.
We have
power now. It's ridiculous. We got so much power now.
Do you know how many time zones there are in the Soviet Union?
It's not even funny. That's ridiculous.
Do you know how many?
It's not even funny.
That's
ridiculous.
Do you know how many?
That's ridiculous.
Do you know how many times?
That's ridiculous. It's not even funny. It's not even funny. It's not even funny.
Do you know how many time zones there are in the Soviet Union?
It's not even funny. How many time zones?
Yeah. We have 4 in this country, right?
How many time zones?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
4 in this country, right?
Yes, sir. 4. 1, 2, 3. Yes, sir.
Right?
1, 2, 3. Yes, sir. 4 time zones?
Yeah. We have 4 in this country, right?
No, sir.
We have.
Yes, sir. And,
do you know how many time zones they have?
Yes, sir. 4, no, sir. I never really studied that up.
11.
11. It's not even funny.
11.
11. That's ridiculous.
11.
Well, that's what we can do. We can go anywhere because we live here. We can go anywhere else.
But not only the right of free travel, I'm saying 11.
11. 1, 2, 3. Yes, sir.
11.
11.
That's how big they are.
Yeah. 11.
That's how big they are.
Yeah. I can believe that. I'm a firm believer in that.
Right?
1, 2, 3. 4. Yes, sir. 1, 2, yes, sir. The Soviet Union's the whole half side of the world.
Yeah.
And we're just one little tenth of the globe.
Yeah.
When you talk about fighting, we're a country that we're a firm believer on Christ, and it's called help thy neighbor. Do not kill, do not, steal, cheat, lie from everybody. That's why we have to have computers, because, man, nobody is perfect. It's not even funny. And about power, man, nobody is perfect.
So what is your point?
Nobody is perfect.
So what is your point, Glenn?
There's 2 things they'll talk about. One's politics, and the other one's religion. The reason you don't talk about them is because they combine in each other. You know what I'm saying?
Do you know how many time zones there are in the Soviet Union?
You know what I'm saying?
Don't you kid yourself. Thanks, Glenn, for just thanks for the good thoughts.
This concludes our transmission to Oceania. However, listeners in East Asia may continue listening on the following shortwave frequencies: 6110, 7230, 9565, 9760, 15160, and 15425 kilohertz. Separate them.
Here it comes. Another science disorder.
Of the plant and
you painfully that you were wrong again. The NRC said that the money 8 years ago, money would never be a factor in licensing this plant. Yet today, self-righteously, you make claims that we've got to get this plant licensed because any delay costs the plant millions of dollars. Sirs, may I remind you that as taxpayers, we in this community pay your salaries. As taxpayers, we pay the NRC salaries. As ratepayers, we pay PG&E salaries. We, sir, are paying for this whole goddamn proceeding, and you won't even let us talk.
Listen. This is not the way of it. This is not the way of it. All that shouting. All that noise. All that noise. Listen. This is not the way of it. All that shouting is not the way of it. All that noise. All that noise. Listen. Listen. Noise. 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 Noise.
There's one thing I hate. All that noise, 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 noise.
Mr. Noisy gave up.
My house burned down this morning and my friends, they came around. I saved the master recordings, but my girl was not to be found. I ran inside the studios to save the tape machine, But my girlfriend, she was fast asleep, locked up, wrapped outside some dream. Now I'm leaving.